Welcome. This video is to show how to optimize an image for your website to reduce the file size while still keeping it a beautiful and sharp image that will look good. The reason to reduce the image size is to make the website load quickly. If you have a bunch of high resolution, large files on your website, then it will load slowly. And if it loads slowly, then someone might navigate away from the website before it loads or become frustrated with the slow response. Additionally, Google ranks your website based on how quickly it loads, so it might rank higher and be more to the top of the search results for someone looking for your website. So to do that, we'll use an image optimization software called Riot. You can simply open it by typing in Riot. If it's installed already, open up Riot here. And you choose Open to choose the file that you want to use. We'll use this house. You choose the file that you want to open, choose Open. You'll receive a dialog indicating that it is a high resolution image and it can resize it, which is what we do want to do. So we choose Yes here. The simplest way to do this, I'll make another video for more details on how this works, but the simple process is to simply determine which dimension is the largest dimension. So in this case, it's the width is the larger dimension, and make sure keep aspect ratio is checked. So when you change one, it'll change the other. So we want to change this to 1920. That's the number of pixels for the width, and then automatically changes the height to keep the same ratio. So that's significantly smaller. So it'll shrink the image to that size. And then you want to choose your resampling filter. Once you choose it once, it'll stay set to the one you've chosen before. So this is already set for the one that we want. I'll show you the options here. The one on the top is the best, is the sharpest, and it's the slowest, very good, and sharpest. Length 3. Select that, select OK, and you can see the image has been optimized. You can see the image size here initially was 2.75 megabytes, which is 2,750 kilobytes. And here's the optimized image, which is only 853 kilobytes. So again, much smaller. So simply, you can see what it looks like on the left and the right, and when it's zoomed out, you really can't tell much of a difference. Even if you zoom in a lot, really can't see much of a difference between the original image on the left and the optimized image on the right. So 800 kilobytes is still fairly large, so we can slightly decrease the quality here with this slider to make it a bit smaller. So let's put it down to 80%. See what we get there. Still syncs it to 631 without changing much of the image quality on the right. You can see a little bit of pixelation here, but we're very much zoomed in. Let's even go down to 72% and get it to close to 500 kilobytes, which is a good size. And I'll include a guide to what sizes are good for how you're using it on the website. For example, if it's taking up the full screen, you'd want a higher resolution image than if it's just taking up, say, 1/8 of the screen, just a button in the corner or a part of the screen. So here we can see, we zoom back out, looking at this size, you really can't tell the difference, but this is much smaller. This one here is much smaller number than that number there. So you can continue to reduce the size if you want to get it closer to, let's say you have a goal of 400. You can reduce that down to 400. You really can't see the difference when you're zoomed out at normal distance there. And to see that it is changing the image, because if you zoom in, you can see that there is a difference there. It's not much of a difference, but there is some more pixelation on the right image there. If you really zoom in, you can really start to see it. There's a difference there. Much more pixelated. But no one is going to look at your images that closely. They'll be looking at it at about this size for a full screen image. And there it looks basically the same. So you got the image that you want there. And at this point you need to save it as a new image. So we'll choose Save and simply give it a file name, house, and then you can say, you can put the dimensions, 1920, or you can put the file size for yourself. Anything else just to indicate that it's been optimized for web usage. And you put Save, and it saves it, and then it's a normal file that you can upload to your website and use from there. So that's the basic instruction. I can do a more in-depth video if it's useful to show more of what's going on with this, but that's the basic information.